Everyone knows Walt Disney for his movies, theme parks, and cast of characters. What most people don't know is when he first started out, he had no money, he had to live in his office because he couldn't afford rent for an apartment, and he survived on a diet of cold beans because he couldn't afford food. By committing to his business and sticking with it, he was now able to build a business that has almost $40 billion in revenue. Walt Disney grew up in the early 1900s on a farm in Missouri and developed a passion for drawing. So much so that one of his neighbors actually paid him to draw some cartoons of his horses. When Walt Disney got to school, he found that he was a good student, but he really enjoyed doodling as opposed to paying attention to his teachers. He connected with one of his high school papers and started drawing patriotic cartoons for the school paper. When he was 16, though, he found that school just wasn't for him. So he dropped out, joined the Red Cross, learned to become an ambulance driver, and actually was shipped to France to become an ambulance driver over there. He couldn't lose that passion for drawing and cartooning, and he ended up plastering his ambulance full of different cartoon creations that he had made. Walt Disney first made his mark in 1934 when he proposed making a feature-length animation, which had never been done before. It was called Snow White. It took him 3 years to make. He went 100% over budget. People thought he was crazy for doing it. He ran out of money at the end and had to actually act out the last scenes of the movie for his bankers to get the money he needed to close and finish the movie. It ended up being a huge success. It was the biggest hit of the year. He won an Academy Award for it, and it was a financial gain for him. Walt Disney's next big project was Disneyland, a 330-acre project out in California, a theme park which had nothing to do with his movies. People thought he was crazy again. Why would you do this? What tie does it have to your movie business? But he had a vision. He was determined to make it happen, and again, it was a big success for him. Then he went on to open up the Walt Disney World in Florida, and the company was able to open up different theme parks around the world. Walt Disney did everything he could to make sure people kept remembering the Walt Disney name. He did a lot of advertising, as an example. So he did TV campaigns, direct mail campaigns, print ads. He even did grocery store coupon cutouts. So when you're at the grocery store, you're thinking about Walt Disney. He was also a pioneer in merchandising. So whenever a new feature film came out that was a Walt Disney production, you would also be able to buy all the merchandise that went along with it. Today, Walt Disney is known not only for its movies, but its TV stations, theme parks, dolls, toys, games, and a whole host of other merchandise. Walt Disney is an entrepreneurial legend who's built up one of the most recognized companies in the world. But remember, when he first got started, he had no money. Nobody believed in him. He had to live out of his office because he couldn't afford an apartment. And he survived on a diet of cold beans because he couldn't afford other food. By following his lessons, though, you too can achieve entrepreneurial success. So remember, find something you love, push the boundaries, and stay top of mind.